First and foremost, I would like to give all the honors, the praises, the glory belongs to my Lord and Savior. His name is Yahweh, by Sham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Mahavakak Wadash. Name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh. Son's name is Yahweh Shai, in who I reverence. And honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning in the hopes of being saved within these last days. This is so important. You know, when I do these lessons, it's for a reason. Every lesson I do is for a reason. Or should we say every lesson we do, the brothers that are sincere, is for a reason. I hope this is edifying. I definitely want to go into the topic of this thing that people are calling narcissism, which is on the rise, by the way. Oh, it's on the rise, especially in America and in the UK. Not everyone's a narcissist, but it's on the rise. So this is something you have to look out for. And me, personally, I've dealt with this. Still deal with it now and then. What's the base of it? What's the basis of it? Right? The basis of it is a form of trauma, right? Insecurity, trauma, because trauma can cause insecurity. When you got the trauma, then you have something called demonization, which leads to victimization. So the narcissist, a lot of the times, we're victimized, so therefore they victimize other people through demonic oppression. I hope that makes sense. We're going to bring up the scriptures, and Lord willing, we're going to find something good, right? This all goes back to childhood. I'm telling you, it all goes back to childhood. It's very rare that you hear a case of a narcissist, and he got that when he was 30, 40 years old. Now, it goes back to childhood. It goes back to rejection. It goes back to trauma. It goes back to psychological abuse. It goes back to neglect, right? That's why they feel the need to also be among people all the time. Have you ever noticed that, brothers and sisters? A narcissist, they can't be alone for too long. They need someone else. It's a constant thing. They always need someone. They're jumping from person to person to person continually. They need that. They need an energy source. They have not learned to be by themselves. That's the hardest thing for them to do. When they're by themselves, I'm telling you, these people self-destruct. I'm just listening. I can only give you what I know. We're going to go to Romans. And, go to Ecclesiasticus first. And I want to just warn you, because this is very, very important. There's different levels of this thing, what they call narcissism. I call it Jezebel spirit. The doctors, I don't know who came up with that word. They call it NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. I call it a spirit. It's a Jezebel type spirit, right? And this spirit, what does it want? It wants control. And it would do anything for control. How do you know? Because we've went into it in Kings. Jezebel was the queen of, was it Syria? And what was she known for? She was a high-level witch. And this spirit, yeah, it's in women, but it operates in men. So domination, control, highly witchcraft, intimidation. You see these things, catch it straight away. Bind it, break it, turn it back to sender. We break it, we bind it, we destroy it. But it's a Jezebel spirit. So let's go back into the topic now of what we're dealing with. Yes, these people can be very dangerous if you let them be dangerous. The narcissist, he or she can only do what you allow them to do. You understand that? They can only do what you allow them to do. That's why they test boundaries. It's not that they don't respect boundaries, but they test boundaries. They see how far they can go. I know how these people move because I grew up around narcissists, so I know how these people move, right? We're going to go to Ecclesiasticus 14 and jump straight to 6, right? Actually, go to 5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? And he shall not have pleasure in his goods. First thing, we got to start loving ourselves, man. Right? Smell good. Put on some good cologne. Nothing's wrong with that. Put on some nice clothing, a nice t-shirt. Right? Nothing's wrong with that. Eat good. Listen to some nice music. Eat some good food. Nothing's wrong with that. This all goes back to self-care. The narcissist, to a certain extent, he have a level of self-care because he's selfish. That's another thing. They're selfish. They don't care about nobody else. People are a stepping stone in the eyes of an ark. That's how they see people. They don't see people as, what's the word? Loving partners. No. They don't see it like that. They see people by a means of getting up on the social ladder. This is why these type of people, they live in fear and they're always looking over their shoulder. Why? Because that's the game they play. They do people in, right? This is why they live in fear, constant fear. Because that's how they play the game. I don't play the game like that. And it says, check this out. He shall not take pleasure in all his goods, right? He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? So if you're evil to yourself, if you hate yourself, listen, ain't no way you're loving anyone else. Ain't no way you're taking care of anyone else. Ain't no way you can help anyone else, man. You got to help yourself first before you help anyone else. And to whom will he be good if he shall not take pleasure in his goods? So you may have goods. You're not even going to have pleasure in them. Get rid of the self-hate. This is a load of self-hate. Get rid of that. There is none worse than he that envieth himself. And this is the recompense of his own wickedness. So that's really a recompense of that wickedness, man. You know what I'm saying? If you envy yourself, it's a reflection of your own wickedness. You shouldn't envy yourself unless you're doing something that's really, 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 really bad, really evil. Because you have people say, they do evil and they say, I feel bad now. Do you really? Do you really feel bad? Are you just saying that? Like, you feel bad because you got caught. You see? These people, narcissists, they do things in secret. All right? And I want to go into the techniques, certain techniques and certain things, how they do, what they do. And it says, the envious man, actually go to verse 7, all right? And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. So be careful of people that come with you with gifts and supposedly try to help you. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. So at the last minute, he's going to declare some wickedness to you. If he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. So there's certain people that will do good, but they do good because they want something. There's something they can gain from it, right? So if someone gives you something, you don't even know them. Oh, I want to help you out. I want to help you out. Why are they doing that? What's behind it? Do they want something from you? All right. Remember, they see people as nothing but mere objects to use. Okay. And there's more. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. So you will see it eventually. All right. The envious man have a wicked eye. And that's something as well. They tend to have very, very bad traits of envy. And so forth. Example of envy. So if you got a cake, right? You got a cake and somebody else bought a cake. You got the same cake, but my cake is a bit bigger than yours. The person that will look at say, well, that cake, he got a bigger cake. That's envy. The envious man have a wicked eye. He turneth away his face in a certain way to the side and despiseth men, because he doesn't want anyone to know that he's full of envy, and despiseth men. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked draweth up his soul. So if you're covetous, you're never going to be satisfied with what you got. These are the traits. I'm just calling out the traits. I'm reading the Apocrypha of these type of people, how they maneuver, right? And me personally, listen, When you're talking about, actually, I'm not even going to say that, right? Watch out for me, 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 me. I try not to even say that word. Me, 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 I, you know, I, me. That's red lights of a narcissist. Some people don't realize they're doing it. Me, but I, and, but, and. Try not to say that too much, right? And someone, because again, you have a lot of these pages now on narcissist, and now everybody's claiming everybody's a narcissist. But some of these coaches, some of these pages on narcissism, you find that, hold on a minute, the person that's doing a whole page dedicated to narcissism is the narcissist. So you have to be careful about these things and make sure you don't possess those traits. Because truly, if you're truly serving other people for no material gain or no motive, you cannot be a narcissist, right? If you're selfish but selfless, but you also help people out, but you do it for the right reasons, you ain't a narcissist. A narcissist manipulates. A narcissist tries to control people. That's the clues. And they have a network. Why? Because they're able to deceive other people around them. People that are not too smart. People that are like them. That's where you get what you call the flying monkeys. What's the flying monkey? The flying monkey is, well, monkeys is, you get it. A group of people, right? That will come in at different angles. All right, that's what you call flying monkeys. The flying monkeys are sent by the narcissist, because the reason he has connections, because he's able to deceive other people, because he has a different mask for every different person he speaks to. This is why they live in fear, because they have to keep that mask with that same person, right? Are you listening? I will slow it down. So this is where you're gonna get the mopeds, you're gonna get the cars, you're gonna get certain people popping up from nowhere. They're called flying monkeys. So the flying monkeys, they're being manipulated, they're being used because a lie was told to them through the narcissist to watch you or do this to you or whatever. This is how this thing goes. Remember, they lie. Right? And the thing, what they will say, they come up with anything is he said this to me and I didn't like it. I tried to help him. A common one is, I was really concerned. I was concerned about him. Listen. The narcissist ain't concerned about no one. The only thing they're concerned about is getting a leg up, getting a foot up, and manipulating. They're not concerned about shit. Excuse my language. I know this game, bro. You can't fool. Listen, the scripture says, if it were possible, they shall deceive the elect. You can't fool the elect. And they have a spiritual disease as well. A real nasty spiritual, it's like, it's nasty. This is why I like to get out in nature. They have a spiritual parasitic disease. They what do you call it when you don't move? What is it when you don't move? It's like they have a stagnant type of energy, and stagnant water is not good. It decays. There's what's the mosquitoes next to it. So these people also have a stagnant spirit. Not all narcissists, right? But some. Right? Remember, they're leeches, right? Just if they don't have no one around them, there's a reason why they don't have no one around them. Because certain people around them don't want to be around them because they see who they are. So they try to attach themselves to people energetically, right? And according to the scriptures, yep, that's a demon, right? That's a demon. That's why they're known for trauma bonding. Why? Because they have trauma. And the scriptures talk about confessing our sins. Not a lot of scriptures are coming to mind now, but the scriptures talk about confessing your sins. Because when you confess your sins, that's how you're able to let go of trauma. So they tend to trauma bond with others that have trauma, that have a lot of pain. All right, that's what they tend to do. Why? Because then they feel that they have someone near to them that they can relate to, and this is how they partner up with people and create what you call soul ties, which soul ties are real, by the way. That's how that is done, right? And they do this with other broken type people. That's why you have to heal. Because a narcissist knows if you're broken or you're healed. They can see it from a mile away. Mile away. And they know if you're manipulatable. They can see that from a mile away as well. Okay, so I want to bring up more scriptures as well. Let's go to Proverbs, Babakashah 16 and 27. This is perfect. An ungodly man diggeth up evil. Right? Oh, they be digging up a whole load of evil. The extent they will go to is your family. If they can gain access to your family, they would try to. That's the extent. They will hack your phone if they can. The extent they will go to. Okay. Another thing, they will watch you. They will get a monitor, some type of device, and they will also watch you when you're by yourself to see where your strong points. Is there any vulnerabilities? And can they sabotage? So they will also do that as well. Right? Remember, it says diggeth up evil, because they're trying to dig up some type of evil on you. And in his lips there is a burning fire. A froward man soweth strife, and a whisperer to separate your chief friends. So when you're not there, guess what they do? They run and they spread like a slander campaign about you. How do I know? Because I've seen these things. I've got experience with this. So they would also run a little slander campaign. So say if they know people in the area, they will run to a few people. Could be 4, could be 5, could be 6. Because, yeah, they know people. Or why? Because they have false friendships and connections. So they will run to people, and here's the key thing. Make up a story. Why? Because they got caught out, and they always need that backup story. And that's called, a lot of the time, triangulation. So they will have about 2 or 3 people sitting in the car to back them up, because them people, they know none the wiser, and to defend the lie and to spread some bullshit. Example, he's useless though, and bro, listen, a stranger is a stranger. I don't know a stranger. I'm not going to look into a stranger's life. I'm not interested. I'm not interested on what somebody else is doing like that. So I don't really care. I don't care. Right? But these people, they would go to all type of lows. And it's based on jealousy, envy. And if you got something good going, well, you better not let the narcissist know, because the narcissist will try to mess that up. Why? Because they ain't shit. Right? They sold their soul a long time ago. They made a pact, I believe. Yeah, they made a pact with the devil. And this is why they need people around them to bring them down. With the devil is, listen, the narcissist ain't nothing but a devil, bro. I'm telling you, in the flesh, bro. Okay. So it's the tactics that they would do. Right? They will run to other people, right, and talk rubbish concerning brothers. This is what they would do. Then I always say this, well, the people, they're going to look now, because remember, the narc, this is what the narc does. And a lot of the time, sometimes it could be when you're in, most of the time, you won't be around. But what they would do is, he does this at this time, and he does that at that time. Would you just watch? Because I just want to confirm what I'm saying is right. Remember, you're not even in his presence when he's saying these things. He ain't even came to you, right? Which really, there's no need for that anyway. Because if it's a stranger, why are they doing that anyway? That's psychopathic. So these are very psychopathic people. But again, they will run to a certain amount of people and say, look, he's doing this at this time. He's also doing that. But do you see what I mean, though? Like, and the person that's, a bit not too smart, if that person ain't clocked on, he will say, yeah, I see what you mean. But you have to have a keen eye and be truthful about what you see, right? So remember, In order for him to do this, he would need to be watching you first, monitoring you, and knowing what you're doing. If he doesn't know what you're doing, and it's hard for him to pull this off because he doesn't know what you're doing. So he can't what's the word? Sabotage. If someone don't know what you're doing, they can't, it's hard, it's more harder for them to sabotage. So this person, this narcissist, covert narcissist, we need to see patterns of certain things you're doing, then he would go to the people. This is why he watches you like a predator. He or she will watch like a predator so they can get this certain info and pattern. Then that's when it starts. Yeah, neighbor, let me just speak to the neighbor. Yeah, I'll tell him I'm gonna run. Yeah, but did you notice this and that? Might get on the phone, might knock on the door, get on the phone. But yeah, did you notice that? But did you see it? It's at this time as well, right? And if it doesn't match, when the person that's speaking to them, like, no, I don't see what you're showing me. It's not there. That's why the narcissist, ready, he needs you to be predictable. Because if he can see your routines and certain things, then he can try to sabotage. Even if it's a good thing and you're not doing anything that's wrong, because he sees the routine, now he can try to sabotage that and say, well, you see, but it doesn't matter anyway. Because if you don't know this person, they shouldn't be looking in on what you got going, right? Because you've got people that don't do fuck all. From what I've seen, they don't do anything. So you got to be careful of these techniques. This is very dangerous. When someone does that, very dangerous, man. Be careful. Pray against it. Going back to what 1 Peter 5, right? Your adversary as a roaring, the devil, the narcissist is a devil, man. I'll say that straight up. Walketh about, walking. Remember, they were on the prowl. They need prey. They need what does a narcissist need? Supply. Supply. That is the prey. The prey is the supply, right? They need energy. They need energy source. They need it. They need it. They need it. They need some type of energy source. They need validation, constant. They need someone to speak to. They need, whether it's good energy, whether it's bad energy, they need it. Are you listening? I hope you're taking notes as well, to those of you that are dealing with this type of thing. They need it. Doesn't matter if it's bad energy or good. They need reactions. No reactions, that's when rage comes. We can even talk about that as well. Right? No reaction, that's where the rage comes. Remember, this is based off attention. It goes back to childhood, right? And not all children are like this, but some children, they want attention because they're young, right? So what happens sometimes when the child doesn't get attention? What does it do? A child throws a fit, right? A hissy fit, stamps their feet, right? Starts crying. Starts crying like a flipping baby. That's what children do, right? But we understand from a child's perspective, you understand that because they need nurturing. But when you get to a certain age, you're supposed to put that off. Are you listening? You're supposed to put that off. When I became a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. I'm paraphrasing. It's what you call arrested development. There's some men that are 40, 50 years, they don't grow up. They're still stuck in their childhood. Real talk, right? They're still stuck in their childhood. So a lot of these behaviors stems back from some type of trauma. When the child don't get its way, it stamps his feet, or it will slam the door, right? Or cross his arms. They cross their arms, right? Cross their arms. Or do something and start screaming. You see? You got to be switched on to these things, man. Right? Me, what I'll say is, no, well, you don't even do that. But my whole aspect, you sit in a naughty corner and think about what you just done. All right? Sit in a naughty corner. All right? Goes back from childhood. Facts. And these type of people, the reason why they're demonized because they haven't worked on themselves. The reason why they so wicked because they don't acknowledge their sins. The scriptures talk about acknowledging your sins. Scriptures talk about that. They don't do that. They run from it. They run. And blame shift other people. Blame shift. Oh, he's the reason. They run. And once you catch them out, they run, they hide. I hope this is edifying. I'm giving you brothers what you need. What you need. What else have we got, Baba Kishar? Alright, we got Proverbs 14 as well. And you know what? There's a lot here. 25, a true witness delivereth souls, but a deceitful witness speaketh lies. So if you're speaking truth, you're going to deliver a lot of souls around you. But deceitful witness speaketh lies. We don't want to be a deceitful witness. Okay? And I also want to jump to Proverbs 14 and 17. 16, a wise man feareth and departeth from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. So what wise? So we want to depart from evil, but the fool just raging and is confident in that rage. And again, where does the rage come from? The rage comes from you speaking truth. The rage comes from unregulated. Another thing, they can't regulate. They try to regulate. You know the interesting thing about this? They try to regulate people on a physical level, right? In terms of control, right? Have you ever noticed that? Right? Mostly narcissists. They try to regulate people, communities, and so forth. But then you find out, hold on, these people, they don't have any self-regulation. They need others to regulate their emotions for them. So these are very unstable, very unstable. And you can't really trust someone that's unstable because they're not thinking right. And they're liable to do any mad thing around you. All right? What else have we got? Baba Kishar. So it says, the fool rageth and is confident. He that is angry, soon angry, dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. So guess what? You end up doing something that you shouldn't be doing and regretting it. Right? So just be mindful of these things, and we want to go to Romans as well. Right? A lot of serial killers are narcissists. A lot of rapists are narcissists. A lot of perverts are narcissists. A lot of psychological abusers are narcissists, because that's what narcissism is. Different forms of abuse. Right? Because they're insecure. They project. Me personally, I don't take it personally. Never take this thing personally. Most of it is projection. You know what that is as well? Someone that feels a certain way from insecurity and how they feel, because it's not regulated, because remember, they can't express themselves in terms of going to you and speaking to you. That's why they do the smear campaigns. That's why they go to other people. Because the scripture says in Matthew, if you have a problem with someone, you go to them first. And if they don't hear you, then you gather 2 or 3 witnesses. It doesn't say go and gather the neighbors, go and knock on the neighbor's door and say, please, we might have a problem. Would you watch what this guy's doing? We just need you to monitor him. We believe something ain't right, and something may be wrong. You don't do that. Have you went to that person first? Have you spoken to him? If not, you're going to fuck off. Simple as that. You're going off, man. Right? See, people, you're not doing things the right way. Why? Because you're not regulated. You don't have balance. You're not you're regulated by Satan. He controls your mind, man. So these people, most criminals are narcissists. That's another thing you're gonna find. Most criminals are narcissists. Facts. From your gang members, most gang members, it's narcissism. Fact, did you know that? You know that, right? Remember, they have a network, right? And I've told you that. What was it last week? Right? They have a network. They think alike because they have the same type of setting. That's how they were raised. You understand? Me, I broke free from that. I got away from that. Right? And I healed. That's why healing is so important as well. My advice, we're going to go to the scriptures and we're going to give you advice on how to deal with these type of creatures. I'm not going to call them humans, creatures, right? Let's go to Romans, and this goes into why they do what they do. We're going to go to Romans 1 and 21. Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God. Actually, forget that, because most of them, they don't even know God anyway. So scrap that. Jump straight to 28, right? And even as they did not like to retain God in their what? In their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind. What's reprobate? Void of judgment. Someone that's reprobate, they're void of judgment. They don't know what they're doing because they're reprobate. Reprobate means rejected by God. To do those things which are not convenient. So, what are the things that narcissists do? They stalk. They monitor people if they have the means of doing it. They bully. I've never liked to bully. Me personally, I'm the one that gets at the bully. Me personally, I've never liked bullies, man. Because bullies, the reason why bullies, they bully because they're insecure. Right? What else do they do, Baba Kushal? Because these things are not convenient. They lie. To lie is not convenient. It may be convenient for the moment, but it's not in the long run. So they do a lot of things. Right? If they have a woman, the woman probably don't want to be around them as well, because they probably treat their woman like shit. I'm just saying this, man, baby. Being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, all these traits they have. Full of envy, murder. Yeah, if they can, they. That's why. Listen, I just have my guards up, because sometimes you know what type of individual you're dealing with, or individuals, right? You can't put it past these people. Why? Because they have no regulation. So if they're not regulated by the scriptures, they could do any of these things. Debate. They like to debate. They like to get on the phone for hours and just gossip. Deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who, knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, and not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. Have pleasure in them that do them. So these people, they have pleasure. They get a kick. Right? Oh, they listen. Don't ever let a narcissist know you're in. Don't ever listen. Yeah, sometimes brothers, yeah, we have emotions, but don't ever let the narcissist know that you're upset. You're wound up. You're hurting. You're in pain. They love those things. They get a kick out of that. Like that serial killer, Ted Bundy. He got a kick out of killing people. He got a sexual arousal from it. When you're dealing with a narcissist, you have to set boundaries. You have to go no contact. You don't conversate with these people. You don't conversate with them. I don't care if they say hello. You don't conversate with them. Which the mistake we make, because sometimes we can be stupid and naive because you're an empath. You don't do that. You go no contact. You cut off all communications. If it's bad, if it's really, really, really bad, you even get a restriction order against these psychopaths as well. What else? If you need to, you change your phone. You heal. Oh, what did I say? I said that already. You heal. What else? Yeah, I said you don't have no conversation with them. What else? You completely no contact. And one thing that's important, you have to be doing something that's productive, because no matter what you do, you could be the most productive person Their whole job is to minimalize that, what you're doing, to destroy it. John, what's it? John 10:10. The thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and to destroy. That's the narcissist, all summed up in one. Steal. They want to steal what you have. Kill, because they believe they're entitled to it, right? Steal, kill, right? And what? Everything, all them things there. And destroy. They wanted it, they're sent out. That's what they're sent out to do that. That's why you hear about assignments. You know, when you hear about these type of things like demonic assignments, why do they always happen to be people that are narcissistic? Because they seek to destroy people that are pure. Because they're not going to destroy someone that's evil because that person's evil already. No, they join forces with people that are evil. They want to destroy what's strong, pure, loving. That's what they seek to destroy. I hope this. I'm flowing in the spirit right now. It's been on my mind, isn't it? This is just something I was thinking. It's been on my mind, but at the same time, we're supposed to teach you a lesson about yourself, what you will tolerate and what you're not going to tolerate, because there is also lessons as well. What you're going to accept, what you're not going to accept. Right? The no contact thing, that works. I'm telling you. Because when you go no contact, remember, they're about energy. They're about attention. So when you go no contact, they don't have, your presence ain't there. So they have to jump, to someone else who will basically take that psychological abuse or whatever you want to call it. That's why it's good working on yourself. The thing they hate is people that work upon themselves. People that heal. That's what they hate, because they're unhealed. We're going to shut off soon. And the binding work, they do something called, they're heavily into witchcraft. Not all narcissists, most. They do something called binding. So the form of binding is trying to get into your energy, trying to get close to you somehow. So they can try to bind your energy to theirs. Kind of like a love bombing. Some people call it love bombing. Am I correct? Love bombing and them things there. So they want, this is so deep. This is it's very sinister. They want your soul. It's your soul. Because they don't have a soul. They want your soul, your essence. That's what they're trying to get. You know, if you love something, right? The thing you love, they will try to destroy that. Listen, you're not dealing with a human. You're not dealing with a human. You're dealing with a despicable creature. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a despicable creature, man, from the depths of hell, man. I'm just giving you what you need to be able to, deal with it. All right? And if you're by yourself, it doesn't really make it any easier. Oh, they know you're strong. They know you're strong. They know you're not weak. But when you're by yourself, I think they see that as a means of trying to join themselves to you. Because if they see, remember, they need someone, right? So they may look at it, well, he's by himself. Let me see if I can manipulate him. Let me see if I can get his attention. No, it's not going to work, bro. It's not going to work, bro. You know what I'm saying, man? It's not going to work. Because once you heal, that's it. Healing process. Okay, so they would do binding work. That's like some spiritual attachments, whether that's through bullying, whether that's through any form of that's what they would try. Energy harvesting. They do these things, man. And they're into witchcraft and all them things there. But no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise up against thee thou shalt condemn. So as for us, brothers, you keep teaching, you keep healing. You go where you want to go. They're not in control of you. That's some fake stuff as well, that they're in control. Right? I've seen it before as well. I've seen all that before, where you may walk through the door and 2 minutes after, 5 minutes, they walk in the door after. They're not in control of you. That's rubbish. Remember, they're suffering from delusions. They want to feel like they're in control. They're not in control. They're definitely not in control because they're not in control of themselves. So, right, they're not in control of you. Right, that's a false facade that makes them, gives them a false superiority, God complex. Remember, they have God complexes. So they think they are gods. Oh, they hate the Bible. They hate the Bible. They think they are gods. You ask them, they will say that I am God. So they've been very delusional, and they have a very false reality. We don't want to be that way. We want to be realistic. We want to stay in the scriptures. And when you get the certain patterns of people doing things, that's flying monkeys. The flying monkeys are sent by a narcissist to find out what you're doing, right? They're sent by a narc, i.e., psychopath or sociopath, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And by the way, I'm none of those. I'm not a sociopath and I'm not a psychopath. I'm an empath, man. Just like the Messiah, I would say he was an empath. He definitely was a narcissist. Okay, so I hope this is really, really, really helping you out, because I know people need this. People really need this. It's on the rise, man. These people, they need remember, they don't do much. They live mediocre life. So remember, narcissists, they live in cycles. That's something I found out. They live in cycles. So they need to keep you in the mental chaos, right? Which is spell work. They need to keep you in mental chaos, in cycles, which is another form of trauma. Okay? That's why you also need to travel. Go different places. Don't go to the same store. Go to a different store. Don't go to the same park. Go to a different park. Right? Don't go to the same restaurant. Go to another restaurant. Don't go to the same town. Go to another town. Right? I hope this is they have the power that they have is through lies, deception. Right? The narcissist has power because it's the people give it to them. They have a false facade. They're not as powerful as they make out to be. They're actually insecure. Okay, so I'm gonna shut off here. I really hope this was edifying. And keep healing. Keep striving for perfection. Keep being a better version of yourself. And let's talk about, before we close off, let's talk about this useless. We might as well talk about it. Let's talk about this useless thing, man. If you serving the God of the universe, this whole entire universe, this whole entire world, and you have talents and you have gifts and you're using them gifts, ain't no way. Listen, ain't no way you're useless. Right? So don't believe in that BS as well. Right? That's so old now. That was played out about 3 years ago. That one's played out now. I'm gonna have to come up with a new one. But ain't no way you are useless. Don't let no one tell you that as well, and project no negative. Don't let no one tell you that. You need to go somewhere because Yahweh Shai wants you to go somewhere and you're fulfilling his will. Don't let the devil dictate nothing to you. Don't let him dictate your emotions or nothing. That's another thing. Emotional stability. The narcissist, he tries to dictate your energy and your emotions. Do not let them do that, because that's the devil. That's the devil. You're not useless, bro. You're very useful to Yahweh Shai. You should be. You use them talents, use them gifts that you've been given. Do what he tells you to do. Don't worry about the narc. The narc's going to be destroyed, and they don't age very well as well. As they get older, they get worse. Oh, you believe that? They get worse. All right. Why? Because they don't take no accountability. All right. They don't take none, and they burn a lot of bridges as well. And the narc, key thing, I said I was going to shut off now, but so much is on my... The narc wants you to be like Rem. They want you to be like Rem. So you got to snap out of that witchcraft. Yeah, they do spell work. You got to snap out of that and come back to yourself. I've heard people saying, Oh, I was around a narcissist and I felt like they were losing themselves and they didn't feel like themselves. Oh, they can make you feel like that if you don't snap out of that. It's based on cycles. If they can keep you in a cycle, that means they keeping you in a spell. If they keep you under a spell, that means you're under an influence of some demonic influence. How you snap out of that is by being renewed in your spirit, and yeah, from time to time, you're doing different things and you're really stepping in to that calling. That's how you break all that stuff. Heavy stuff right here. Okay, heavy stuff right here. Okay, and that's the thing. You're not useless. Because if you were useless, guess what? You wouldn't have so much people invested in brothers, man. Invested every day. You got people invested in what we got going. But the bad thing about it is now you got people that are trying to derail that. Networks that are trying to derail. So if you go somewhere, you come back in. As soon as you come back in, you might have a narcissist that's a part of a coven or a network. And they're hoping, well, what was he doing? Yeah, that wasn't good enough. Yeah, he was sitting down. He was reading. Yeah, see what I mean? See what I mean, though? See what I mean? Yeah, but he's useless. Shut the fuck up, man. Well, what have you been doing? Because if you got the time to watch someone, you're definitely useless. If a man's going out there, he's being productive, you really have nothing to. You have nothing to say anyway. If you don't know that man personally, you have nothing to say. And even if you do have something to say, it holds no weight. Because that's one thing this has taught me is you can't care what other people think. Now, do I take advice? I take advice of people that are, what's the word? Credible, that have the credentials. I'm not going to take advice of someone. Example, say you're going to, say you want to work out, you want muscles, you want six pack or whatever, you want to get fit. If someone's smoking weed, right, they're smoking a big blunt. They got a big cup of whiskey, which nothing's wrong with drinking. I drink every now and then. And they're puffing a zoot. And they're saying, yeah. And they got a big ass belly and they're eating a donut. They got a big, like 3 donuts they're yamming. And they, yeah. No, you don't do it like that. You do it this way. That's use. And they're seeing you work out. And they're eating nothing but donuts. They're smoking blunts. Are you going to take that person's advice? You're going to think, this guy's fucking mad. I'm not listening to this guy. You're not going to take his advice. Now, if you see someone that's exercising, everything's in shape, they've got the big calves, right? They're very disciplined, and you see that you're going to take advice of him because he has them credentials. So also be careful who you're listening to, what's going in your ear, and who you're taking advice from. Okay? You take it. Yeah, you do take advice. I'll always say to brothers, you listen. Because even someone that's not in the truth I've even had that plenty of times. Because the Lord does send people to tell you and give you advice and to help you out. But you have to have discernment to know when it's coming from a good place. Right? Because you have people that give you advice, but it's not coming from it's coming from a place of envy. If I was him, I'll do it this way, but I'll do it that way. You know what I mean? But you see what I mean? But then you examine that person for a little while. It's like, hold on, well, what do you do? What do you do? Do you do anything? Or do you just watch other people? Because anyone that's watching somebody else, you have a lot of time on your hands to do nothing. I'm about moving, doing these lessons, pushing it out, feeding the sheep. Why? Because the Lord commanded us to do it. I want to do what Yahweh told me to do. I'm not going to do what you tell me to do. Okay? Keep that in mind. Break this demonic spell that the narcissist tried to break that stuff. I only care about what Yahweh says. That's why you have to read the scriptures. That's why it says resist the devil and he will flee. When the devil's trying to chat that smack in your ear, yeah, do this, do that. Yeah, you're useless. Still useless. You get right into the scriptures and you apply them and you do what he says. All right? Come on. I hope this was edifying. I'm going to shut off here. And until the next time. Shalom. Shalom.